Wendy, and today we're going to be creating this autumn shaker card. I'm mostly going to show you some pattern paper ideas for fall, and I'm using this stamp set right here that I found on Amazon, and it does come with the dies. I can link it below for you. So I'm going to start off with a piece of just brown cardstock, and I took 3 or 4 of the leaves off of this stamp set, and I'm just going to speed through. We stamped each one in a different color, and I just kind of randomly stuck them all over the paper till I thought it was full enough. So I started with the squeezed lemonade distress oxide on this leaf. And I know it looks kind of wet right now, but these oxides actually, as they dry, will look brighter on this darker paper. I love the look of it when it's dry. So next I picked a smaller leaf and I'm using the mowed lawn and just kind of randomly doing that one all over the paper. I am kind of turning my leaf every once in a while too, so that you can put those kind of randomly too. The next I'm using I can't remember, spiced marmalade, that's the name of this one. That one's really stands out on this brown paper. This one really made the picture come together. And then I figured I'd want a little bit of a reddish color in here, so this is abandoned coral, and I'm just doing a little, like, it's 3 dots, and I'm just randomly sticking those in between all the leaves just to bring the colors together and make it look more fall like. So I'm just going to clean up here, and what I'm going to do is I made several of these panels. I'm just going to make one into a shaker card. So I have a piece of acetate here the same size as my panel, and I'm setting on some more stamps from another set that I just happen to have with a couple of larger leaves and flowers. So I'm closing my MISTI here, and I'm going to put some anti-static powder on here. I'm inking it up with Versamark, stamping it on real quick, and then I'm going to use this copper tinsel embossing powder. I'm going to try this for the first time today and see how it looks. So I'm sprinkling that on. I'm going to heat set it real quick, and actually it came out with kind of a coppery sparkly look, and I really like it. It was perfect for this card and very autumny, if that's a word. So I'm going to heat set this, and I do have heat resistant acetate, by the way. It does warp it a little bit, but not terribly. So you can kind of see how shiny it is there. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on the other corner also. And here's the finished piece. I'm just wiping all the stray pieces off. Now I'm going to take another panel of the same brown, and I'm cutting a small frame out of it, and I'm going to actually use the outer part rather than the inner part, and I'll save that for another card. I'm just going to take my black finger dauber. Actually, I tried brown there, but it wasn't dark enough, so I tried the black and just did the corners to kind of distress it a little bit. So here we are doing that. Now I'm going to put on some double stick tape all along the back of the frame. I'll peel off the backing here and then stick the panel of acetate on to the frame here. Now this was a little bit tricky to line up just because my frame was rather skinny, so just be careful that it's getting on nice and straight and there's no puckers or folds in the frame. It went on okay once I got it going. So now I'm going to take a circle die, and I cut out 2 circles, and I'm going to quickly just color them one of the orange colors I used on those leaves in the background. Let this dry, or you can heat set it with a heat tool like I did. And then I'm going to stamp a sentiment on here. And I didn't show it on the video, but I don't want it to just shake around in there, so I put a piece of invisible thread between those 2 circles when I taped them together. And you can see what I've got here. So I put some invisible thread in there, and I'm going to set that aside for a second. Now we need to put some foam tape on all these edges so there's enough room for all the shakers inside. So I'm going to quickly run through that. For the long edges, I didn't quite have enough room for my frame, so I'm going to cut this down the middle to make my foam a little bit thinner. Otherwise you could kind of see it on the front side, and I didn't want it that. So I'm quickly putting this on, trimming up both ends, and I I'm getting some sequins to put inside, and I just started filling this. I wasn't sure how I was going to put this together yet, so I'm just really kind of playing here and seeing what works. So right now I'm just adding a few colors of sequins for the shaker elements. And here's my panel in the back. Now, to put this together, I thought maybe I would try putting some removable adhesive on the back, and then I would be able to hold down the string on both ends while I put it together so it wouldn't move too much. So I ended up having to dump the sequins that I had just put in there. Oh, see, it didn't stick to the table. There we go. I'm dumping them back onto the panel so I can stick this on the other way. Before I do, I'm just going to take a few glue dots and glue a few sequins to the background just so that if you tip it up, they don't all fall down to the ground and there's still a little bit of sparkle there. So now I'm going to peel the double-sided foam tape off and stick this as centered as I can down on the back panel. So this way, when you are done, your little element on the inside with the sentiment on kind of wiggles around but always remains upright. So here I'm going to shake it a little bit and you can kind of see it wobbling back and forth a little bit, just like that. So I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I made 2 of these panels. Here's what I did with the second one. I just cut another circle out of that cream colored cardstock and stamped my sentiment on it. And I had a little bit of green foliage left over from another project that I had saved in a box, and I just popped some foam tape behind the circle, stuck my foliage to the back so it kind of randomly stuck out, and just glued it right to the middle of the card. So all you'd have to do with this one is just pop this up on a card panel and you are set to go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up or subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye!